Lorry drivers are calling for more secure truck stops across the UK to stop organised crime gangs from stealing their cargo, with reports of at least 5,000 thefts last year alone.
Yeah, we've got some astonishing footage to show you this morning because the Road Haulage Association is urging the new government to create a specific freight crime offence and to improve parking facilities to help tackle crimes and protect drivers, as Clodagh Stenson reports.
Every day, drivers across the UK say they're waking up to this. Slashes, tears, and sometimes missing loads. And hauliers are frustrated.
You can see the amount of knives that have gone into this vehicle. This vehicle's already had 2 attempts of theft.
Yeah. So what would a tear like this cost you guys to repair?
A tear like this would normally cost £100. But if you're carrying food or a similar product, once that tear happens, the goods will be rejected when you get to the other end.
Drivers say the thefts are taking a toll. Joe Alves's lorry was slashed, even though he'd left his doors open to show he wasn't carrying cargo.
I don't get a full night's sleep because I'll always wake up during the night, slide the curtains, just have a little check to see if there's anybody about. I can be doing that 2-3 times a night.
The National Vehicle Crime Intelligence Service, or NAVSIS, is a police unit helping forces fight vehicle crime and is funded by the logistics industry. This NAVSIS intelligence officer polices lorry crime. Due to his work undercover, he wants to remain anonymous.
The organised crime groups that are committing these thefts, they understand CCTV surveillance, they understand how the police work. They've got underground networks of handlers that will handle vast quantity of cargo for serious sums of money.
He says they target popular consumer goods, easy to divide.
Alcohol, tobacco, electrical goods, clothing and fashion goods.
Where does the stolen goods end up?
It all re-enters the supply chain in lots of small quantities. Online selling platforms, wholesalers, backstreet cash and carries, car boot sales, Sunday markets.
Whilst it's not known if these cigarettes were stolen, it's not difficult to find lots of tobacco for sale on Facebook Marketplace, which is against their site rules. And we've approached Facebook for comment. And criminals are taking increasingly reckless risks to get this cargo. This is rare footage of a rollover theft, captured in 2012 in Romania by police. This high-speed method is still very unusual, but NAVSIS says it's on the rise in the UK. There's been 9 recorded rollover thefts so far this year, up from 7 in 2023.
Whilst the lorry's moving at 56 miles an hour, the driver will be unaware that a vehicle has crept up behind the trailer. Someone will climb out of the sunroof of the car that's directly behind, bounce down onto the bonnet, angle grind, undo the back doors of the trailer and jump in on the move to steal cargo.
It's really dangerous stuff, isn't it?
Our concern is that it's got the potential for death and serious injury.
So what's the scale of this issue? NAVSIS say there were over 5,000 incidents of lorry crime last year. That's around 14 a day. And NAVSIS says this equates to a £68 million loss of goods, but industry experts think the real figure could be 7 times higher. So how can the gangs be stopped?
The biggest problem we have is there is simply not enough places for secure parking.
Improving secure truck parking standards.
To make us more secure, we need more secure parking.
This is an example of really secure parking. With walls, CCTV and on-site security, Ashford International Truck Stop in Kent is one of the most secure sites in the UK. It's been accredited by the British Parking Association, who hope their scheme, launched in 2022, will drive up security standards at truck stops.
It's really interesting that we have only been able to get just 10 sites in the whole of the UK across the line on this scheme. And that's really testimony to the fact that the standards of truck stops is just simply so poor. What's also interesting is that the 10 sites that we have accredited have 0 to little crime.
Some drivers have told us that they don't feel police react well enough to this crime or take their concerns seriously. What would you say to those drivers?
I don't always get an easy ride, particularly from drivers and haulage companies. But last year, we was either notified or asked for assistance with 325 arrests for UK cargo crime. We supported 48 policing operations, so there is an awful lot of good work going on nationally to combat this type of offending.
And despite efforts being made to stop thefts like this, drivers say they remain fearful. Clodagh Stenson, BBC News.
Oh, it's audacious, isn't it? We're joined now by Kathryn Moorhouse-O'Reilly, who's the transport manager at Tom Moorhouse, lorry driver Chris Baker and Ashton Cull from the Road Haulage Association. Let's start with you, Chris, because it cannot be relaxing driving at the moment.
No, it's not, and it's a constant threat, to be fair, whether it's day or night. You know, if I pull up in a lay-by during the day just to have a statutory break, I'm all the time thinking, what's that car pulled up behind me for? Or, you know, particularly vans, you know, why is it pulled up behind me? And I'll always get out and have a walk around at the end of my check just to make sure everything's OK. But even doing that, you have to lock your vehicle, take your keys out, lock your vehicle, because there's instances of people jumping in while the driver's at the back of the vehicle and going down the road with it.
But then also you're always on high alert. It's not conducive to rest, and rest is such an important part of your driver's job, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, if we're worried that drivers haven't had enough rest, we're just worried about them all day. You know, they're operating heavy good machinery that's basically if they're involved in accidents, it's dreadful to think what could happen.
And delivering stuff that we all, us customers, rely on. I mean, Chris, tell us, what's happened to you?
Yeah, I've had diesel theft. Curtains are cut on a regular basis. And you're just aware of people, you know, and if you're in a truck stop even, they are better than road siding or being in a lay-by. But you're on edge all the time, and if you think yourself, if you were laid in bed and you heard somebody trying your door or whatever, straight away the adrenaline's going, and you're on edge, and so you just don't rest.
Scary.
It's scary, yeah. It can be scary, and you know, of course, fortunately, it's never happened to me. But there are instances of thieves threatening drivers with knives, guns. You know, you name it. It can happen.
Ashton, you're calling for the law to change, for there to be a specific law around freight attacks.
Yes, it's remarkable, really, that theft of perhaps millions of pounds worth of goods from the back of a truck is in many ways recorded the same as an opportunistic theft of a purse from a passenger vehicle of a personal vehicle. It's something really that it needs to be clearer. The impact needs to be seen. We see it on the drivers, we see it on the businesses, but also on the wider economy. It drives up inflation. It increases the cost of everything for everybody, and really damages an industry that's so important to international growth.
And it's getting worse.
Indeed, yes. I mean, NAVS is doing great work in terms of really bringing this problem to light. One thing, actually, we heard there all the work they're doing, the intelligence they have, but NAVSIS is currently funded by the industry. The vast majority of their funding comes from businesses and trade associations. Really, we'd like the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, to put some more money behind them so they can continue doing this really important work. I don't think there's any other crime of a similar seriousness where the victims of it are the ones paying for all the police action.
So we're talking about possible changes to the law. What about practical changes? What would help you, Chris, if you pull into a car park, you're staying somewhere overnight? What are the things you would like to see around you that would make you feel safer?
Just knowing that there's better security. In a lot of the truck stops, the security's not that great. It has to be said. So just knowing that you know there's somebody patrolling the area, walking around the car park, you know, checking things out all night long, just helps you get your head down and just relax. And so the facilities have improved somewhat. I mean, there's still a lot of very poor facilities out there, but you know, from the rest point of view, really, it's just knowing that security's there. Secure fencing, CCTV, people on foot walking around or driving around in a vehicle.
Kathryn, do you think you have to recruit drivers?
Yes.
Do you think you would be able to recruit more easily if you could tell them, potential applicants, that they were going to be safer?
Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, the industry's full of people of an older age. We can't seem to get the younger generation into the industry, and I think it's because they don't feel safe on the road. You know, they haven't got the luxuries that they have at home. Yes, the trucks are much better. You know, we have microwaves, fridges, double bunks, all the rest of it. So the trucks themselves are brilliant, but the places that they go, they're just not nice.
And I'm also imagining from a pure business spreadsheet perspective, you're having to say to your clients, I'm sorry, the haul isn't there, the freight isn't there, and you're unable to then make predictions about what's coming next because you don't know the damage to your vehicles.
That's the thing. You have no idea. You have to first notify the customer, and then you have to get your insurances involved and police if necessary. But yeah, you have no idea the cost at the start. And then, obviously, once you get the information, you can go.
And your insurance premiums keep going up.
Yeah, ours has gone up 9% this year. Which
and
is
there's
insane.
a knock-on then for the consumers, isn't
exactly.
it? You know, everything, that whole chain, the connections.
Yeah. Margins are small as there is in general haulage, so big increases like 9%, you can't pass them on to your customer. So
it's been a real eye-opener for us. Thank you.
Thank
Those
you all.
images of the thieves, unbelievable.